What if one of the greatest games of all time was something you had never experienced until now? I found myself in that exact spot, playing Ocarina of Time for the very first time, over 25 years after its release. And you know what? This game absolutely blew my mind. From the moment I picked up the controller, I was stepping into the legend that transcends generations, appealing not only to the old players, but also the newcomers like me discovering its magic for the first time. Today I'm gonna take you on a journey, one filled with awe, nostalgia, and a few surprises that make me feel like a kid again. The adventure begins in Kokiri Forest. Right away, I was struck by the game's charm. You play as a Link, the young boy without a fairy, destined for a heroic journey. It's a very simple setup, but it's very effective. Classic good versus evil, with a twist of destiny and time travel. Initially, I did feel the age of the game. The graphics were blocky and the controls, it took some time getting used to. The camera is really old school, and targeting enemies felt really awkward at first, but here's the thing, after like an hour, I kind of started to enjoy it. That early clunkiness faded as I got used to the unique layout. I began to appreciate how people would have felt back in 1998. Ocarina of Time was inventing solutions for 3D gameplay on the fly. For example, the targeting system. By holding down a button to lock onto enemies, suddenly the combat kind of made sense. It was a revolutionary idea that became a staple in a lot of games going forward. It's hard to overstate how groundbreaking it actually was. It set the template for games from Dark Souls to many others. So there I was in 2025 fumbling with an old control scheme only to realize I was experiencing the birth of features I take for granted today. Once I got comfortable, I was able to lose myself in the world. And wow, even coming to this game decades late, the sense of wonder and scale is real. After leaving Kokiri Forest, I stepped onto Hyrule Field, and all I could say was, whoa. Sure, by modern standards, this field is relatively empty, but in the context of the time this game came out, it was groundbreaking. You get an open field with a dynamic day and night cycle, and places visible in the distance that you can actually physically go to. The world is filled with charming characters and secrets. From Lon Lon Ranch to Hyrule Castle, every location has a distinct vibe. Even though the visuals are dated, the art direction still conveys an epic adventure feeling. I found myself totally engaged with helping farmers, finding hidden places, and learning the game's lore. The side quest and exploration was also surprisingly rich. I took my time wandering off the main path, and it made the journey feel much more personal. The time travel mechanic surprised me. I mean, it was literally in the title, so I don't know how I didn't see it, but it still hit me pretty hard. Roughly halfway through, after doing a few things as young Link, I found myself pulling out the Master Sword in the Temple of Time. This moment was a great turning point, and what a moment. You're sealed away for 7 years, and then suddenly you're adult Link, standing where a child once stood. Going outside, the world had changed around you. You'll find that the beautiful Hyrule you were having a good time exploring was now dark and dangerous. Basically, the evil had won during those 7 years you were frozen in time. This plot twist blew my mind, and I'm sure it did for many players back in the day too. I feel like many games did flirt with the concept of time travel, but Ocarina of Time made it a gameplay element. It literally lets you travel back and forth between eras, a childhood and an adulthood, and it's insane. Places that were friendly and bright when you were young became haunted and broken in the future. As a player, I felt the emotional weight of the change. For instance, the market town is in ruins under Ganondorf's rule, but it was once bustling. The game brilliantly uses this mechanic for puzzles as well. Sometimes you can only do stuff in their childhood, or vice versa. And it was super fascinating to someone who has never played this game before. It felt like a gimmick, but the coolest gimmick ever. And few games even today play with time on the scale, I feel like. Ocarina of Time made it feel epic and personal, as if you truly watched this world change alongside Link. The point where I realized I was playing something truly special and ambitious. Through all of these adventures in the game, one thing really tied everything together: the music. Ocarina of Time's soundtrack is nothing short of legendary. Even as a first-timer, so many tunes immediately burrowed into my head. Most of them I had already recognized from gaming culture. Each area in the game has its own theme and it perfectly captures its atmosphere. From the Lost Woods to Gerudo Valley. The melodies are super hummable and super addictive. There's a reason people still remix and cover these songs decades later. In fact, the game literally makes you play music as part of the adventure. Also in the title, by the way. Learning new songs on the Ocarina is how you solve some puzzles and travel around. It creates such a wonderful synergy between the player and the soundtrack. Every time I learned a new song, I wasn't just triggering a game event, I was bonding with the world through its music. The use of audio feedback is also super brilliant. Secrets are often signaled by a jingle. Enemies make distinct sounds that cue you into their actions, and music plays when you solve a puzzle or open a treasure chest. It's one of the most iconic jingles in video game history. The sound design makes everything feel rewarding. The game builds its world through sound. The music and sound effects aren't just background, they actively tell you how to feel and even how to play. It adds a layer of depth you wouldn't get otherwise. I'd enter a new area and immediately the music would put me into the right mindset, whether I was creeping through a dungeon or relaxing in a village. By the end, I was humming and whistling these songs in my daily life. The soundtrack isn't just good, it's a character in itself. It's one of the best in gaming history. Playing Ocarina of Time for the first time is like unearthing a time capsule of innovation, especially in the modern era. So many features I've encountered have since become industry standards. I've already mentioned Z-targeting, but consider other ideas this game introduced or perfected, such as context-sensitive action buttons. The game smartly changes the action prompt depending on what you're facing, so one can talk when you're a person or open when by a door. A horse ride across a large open world, and an auto-jump system. The side quests were also crazy. All these may seem normal now, but Ocarina of Time either pioneered or popularized them. It's like playing the blueprint for so many games that came after. It's no wonder Ocarina of Time is often cited as the defining 3D adventure game of its era. And beyond mechanics, the scale and ambition of its story and world were unlike anything anyone had ever seen in the 90s. As I journeyed through temples, fought bosses, and eventually confronted the final battle against Ganondorf, I kept thinking about how epic it felt. Even compared to modern games, by the end the credits rolled, I was both exhilarated and emotional. I finally understood why this game had such a revered reputation. It's not just nostalgia, it's just genuinely that good. It genuinely made me feel like a kid again. Ocarina of Time earned its title as one of gaming's greatest masterpieces. Standing there as adult Link looking over a Hyrule, I felt I had lived a lifetime in this game's world. Something I thought about is that great games don't really age. At least not in terms of fun and impact. Yeah, sure, the graphics are old and I had to adapt to the controls, but the core experience was absolutely incredible and timeless. The pure emotion of pulling the Master Sword, the thrill of conquering a challenging dungeon, and the joy of hearing a familiar melody but placed in the game. These moments hit me just as hard as they would have hit someone in 1998. The climax of Ocarina of Time was a reminder of how powerful games can be when all elements come together. When I finally defeated Ganondorf and saved Princess Zelda, it genuinely felt like I had completed a journey. The final scenes tie back into the time travel theme beautifully. Link was sent back to his childhood once more, but as the legendary hero of time. He returns to being a kid, having saved the future. In that moment, I thought this game truly transcends time, both within its story and in reality. It connected past to the present, 1998 to 2025, and in a way that I've never quite experienced before. It was earned, powerful, and unforgettable. I went in expecting a clunky old classic that might not live up to the hype, but I came out a true believer in the legend of the game. It's clear to me now why Ocarina of Time is often used as a benchmark for game design and storytelling. Its influence is literally everywhere. And yet, the original game itself still shines brightly. I want to end this video with a thought experiment. Imagine an alternate universe where the Zelda franchise never existed. Or if Ocarina of Time were to be remastered and released today on modern Nintendo console as a brand new title. Would it still hold up? After my experience, I can say yes, absolutely. The game's fundamental qualities, the engaging exploration, the puzzles, the storyline, and the music are timeless. With updated graphics and some quality of life tweaks, it could easily pull in a whole new generation just as it did back in the day. That's the ultimate testament to its quality. Great design is great design in any era. And as if to prove that point, here I am in 2025, utterly enchanted by this game, older than many viewers, one day older than me even. Ocarina of Time is more than just nostalgia. It's a masterclass in game design that literally transcends generations, welcoming players into its world of wonder even today. If you've never played it, I encourage you to give it a try. You might just find yourself on a journey that, like mine, you will never forget. I gave this game a try thinking that it wouldn't hold up. I thought I'd just be checking a classic and forcing myself to enjoy the game. But Ocarina of Time proved me wrong. It made me care, and it showed me what good design, music, and storytelling can do when they all come together. It's not just a game for the past, it's proof that when something is well built, it stays great no matter when you play.